Yo guys, what's up? Russ here with episode 3 of going through my comic book collection. Let's jump right into it. Obviously, I'm still in my Superman boxes and will be until I finally finish the fourth one right there, which I think that one is some Superboy, Supergirl. Uh, I think I got some annuals in there and some one shots. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what's in the fourth box. But let's get to the third box here. Kicking it off with the Man of Steel issue 33. Kind of looks like Rob Liefeld drew my boy right here. This was a three-part storyline that included Parasite. If I remember right, Superman starts absorbing like way too much power from the sun, and he just keeps getting more and more jacked. So they got to bring in Parasite to kind of give him some relief from that. Why is my phone ringing now? The worst time. This is Superman issue 89, by the way. Here we have Adventures of Superman 512. Again, this is where they brought in the Parasite to kind of drain Superman of some of his powers because he was just absorbing way too much and getting kind of steroided up there. Hopefully my sound and everything is all good. Here we have Man of Steel issue 34, The Battle for Metropolis. Got Superman issue 90. Here we have a milestone issue, Action Comics 700. Destruction of Metropolis there. Here we have Adventures of Superman 514. And I mentioned this yesterday when I showed one of my Justice League issues, a crossover with the Reign of Superman story. It was a DC Universe logo, and so is this one. I think this is the only other DC variant or DC Universe logo that I own. So I've only got two in the collection. Here we have one of the World Collides issues, Man of Steel issue. Where's the issue number? Looks like 36. I believe when these were originally released, they were all polybagged. But this one I picked up at a flea market years ago. It was already open. With Action Comics 702. His second battle with the new Bloodsport. This is a cool issue. I picked this up from Midtown Comics on one of their back issue sales. I think I got it for like 75 or 80 cents or something. But it's Man of Steel issue 37. Got a ton of different versions of Batman on this cover. I believe, yep, right here they even have the animated series Batman. Absolutely love this cover for that. It's one of the 0 Hour tie-ins. We have Man of Steel Zero, another 0 hour book. Here's a good one. This is one of my favorite covers. The Adventures of Superman 525. Got Clark and Lois making out on the cover there. I know my buddy Simple Simon would love this. He's a Kiss cover connoisseur. But I actually have a signed copy of this up on the wall in a frame that's signed by Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher, which is awesome. Here's some more 0 hour stuff. Superman Zero. Hey, Ranger, how's it going, man? How's this Sunday treating me? A little bit stressed, to be honest. Yesterday, I got a letter in the mail for jury duty. So I have to. It's not till like I think it said May 12th. And with my anxiety, the way it is, my brain just kind of thinks about the same thing over and over and over again. If it's something I have to do until I get it over with, and the fact that it's not till May 12th is kind of driving my anxiety crazy because that's a long time I have to wait and just go over it in my mind over and over again. I got Superman issue 94. And I think back in the day, Kenner made a 2-pack of these figures, Superman and Conduit. That's what I was always on the lookout for, but I never did pick up back in the day. Got Adventures of Superman 517. This is part of the Dead Again storyline. Which I believe had something to do with Brainiac, if I'm not mistaken. Then we got Action Comics 704, continuing that storyline. Man of Steel 39. And this was a pretty lengthy storyline, if I remember right. It went through quite a few issues. Superman issue 95. Kind of the reveal that Brainiac was involved. Got Adventures of Superman 518. Awesome dark side cover on this one. The Action Comics 705. Never got one of those? You think you'd like to experience? Not me, man. It kills my anxiety. That's just the way I've always been. Just full of anxiety about anything like that. Even simple stuff, it's weird. It's like if I know I have to go to the grocery store tomorrow, I can't stop thinking about it until I go get it done. So with this being like over a month away, it's just going to drive me crazy until it gets here. Man of Steel issue 40. You were a witness in a trial once? Oh man, I bet that was, for me, that would have been nerve wracking. Got Superman issue 96. Still in the Dead Again storyline with this one. All right, and Okay, I believe this was the end of that storyline finally with Adventures of Superman 519. Superman issue 97. Yeah, I'm still not sure if because for the May 12th, it's just like I think an interview or something to see how you work out for it. I've got a pretty high number. It said like number 078. So I guess that means I'm like the 78th choice and they only need 12. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't get picked. Here's issue 98. Another one of my favorite covers. I love this background. Your brother has the same anxiety problems. It's rough, man. I feel for him. It really makes it hard to function sometimes. Got Superman issue 99. Got Adventures of Superman 522. Another cool cover here. Superman kind of bringing the new Daily Planet globe in, helping to rebuild. We got Action Comics issue 709. And this is actually a cover homage to the first comic I ever bought, Action Comics 688. Now we're getting into the Death of Clark Kent storyline here with Man of Steel issue 44. Got two copies of Superman 100 here. I got the standard cover and the variant cover. Adventures of Superman 523, continuing that storyline. Action Comics 710. Looks like Lois is having a bad day. Man of Steel issue 45. Kind of a cool cover there. Clark all dressed in black, burning the suit. The variant cover from 100 is the one you see the most. Never seen the regular cover? Wow. The regular cover, I didn't see a lot either. I actually didn't get that regular cover. I want to say I won it in a YouTube give. I can't remember if it was a YouTube giveaway or just an AOK. I can't remember for the regular cover. Got Superman 101. We got Adventures of Superman 524. Still going with the Death of Clark Kent storyline here. And it looks like this is the final issue for the Death of Clark Kent. It's Action Comics issue 711. Another fight with Conduit. Here's Superman doing his best Goldberg impression with issue 46. Who's next? Here's a cool cover. Superman 102 with Black Adam and Cyborg Superman. Oh man, here's an issue that got out of order somehow. It's part of the Dead Again storyline. Man of Steel issue 38. I don't know how that got out of order like that. Might have to fix that. We have Action Comics 712. Man of Steel 47. Got Superman issue 103. Here we got Adventures of Superman 526. And this actually features the original Bloodsport and the new Bloodsport in the same issue. We got Action Comics 713. Here's another cool cover. It's Man of Steel issue 48. Aquaman crossed over in this one. And this was the era where Aquaman had the long hair, the beard, and the hook hand. My absolute favorite version of Aquaman was right here. I love that era. We got Superman 104, Darkseid and Cyborg. Cyborg Superman, I should say. Got Adventures of Superman 527 here with Alpha Centurion. And coming up is a awesome Joker cover, one of my favorites, Action Comics 714. The joke's on you. Always love a good Joker cover in some Superman books. Got Man of Steel issue 49. And the way it's drawn here, with like the shadow over the lip, it kind of looks like a mustache. It's kind of giving me a Inigo Montoya vibes from The Princess Bride there. Superman's on the hunt for the six-fingered man. We got a crossover with Green Lantern, Superman issue 105. very cool book there. I love the Kyle Reiner Green Lantern. It's funny, when I started reading comics, was in the Reign of Superman storyline, and they had that crossover with Green Lantern. So it's up on the wall there. I don't know if you can see it, but that was Green Lantern issue 46 was actually the first ever Green Lantern comic I read, and I read it because it crossed over with the Reign of Superman storyline. And it's just like, what, 2 issues after that, they introduced Kyle Reiner, and I kept reading Green Lantern. So Kyle Reiner was almost the Green Lantern I started with, because Hal Jordan only had like a few issues left at that time. Anyway, here's Adventures of Superman 528. Grab a sip of coffee right fast. This is starting another fairly long storyline. I think it was 7 or 8 issues. The Trial of Superman with Man of Steel issue 50. We got Superman issue 106. Adventures of Superman 529. We got Action Comics 716. Or, yeah, 716. Got Man of Steel issue 51. This is an awesome cover. Superman issue 107. Cyborg Superman holding up Steel, Superboy, and Eradicator laid out behind him. Love this cover. Of course, anything that kind of ties back to the Reign of Superman, I'm going to love. That would be cool to find a poster like that. That would be an awesome poster to hang on the wall. Got Adventures of Superman 530. Yo, what's up, Tat? How you doing, man? Hope you're having a good weekend. Got Action Comics 717. Got Man of Steel issue 52. Like Soups is knocking out some of Cyborg Superman's teeth there. We got Superman issue 108. Can always take a good picture of the cover and print it out as a poster. I suppose I could try that. Okay, and this is finally the end of the Trial of Superman with Adventures of Superman 531. Another awesome cover. Here's a great one. Got Man of Steel issue 54, crossover with the Spectre. I'm not sure if this is the Hal Jordan Spectre or not, because I know for a time Hal Jordan actually became the Spectre. I'm not sure if this was still during that era. Yo, what's going on, James? How you doing today, man? We have Action Comics 720. The engagement is off. I'm pretty sure they worked it out later. Here's a fun cover. Got Man of Steel issue 56 with Mr. Mxyzptlk. You need the one with the Spectre? That's an awesome cover, man. What issue number was that again? It was Man of Steel 54. We got Superman 112, some more Lois and Clark drama here. Got Action Comics 722. This is one that I actually reviewed, gosh, 2 or 3 years ago now in my short-lived random read series. Got Man of Steel issue 58. Kind of a simple but a cool looking cover. It's on your hunt list. Hopefully you can find a good deal, man. I'm assuming that most all these are still dollar books. I'm not sure because I haven't checked in like forever. Got Superman issue 117. Oh, this is part of the Final Night storyline. One of the tie-ins with it. See, I got Man of Steel issue 62. Again, part of the Final Night. Then we've got Superman 118. This issue is guest starring Wonder Woman, which is pretty cool. The Quest of Lois Lane. Here's a good one. It's funny, I never got this issue back in the day. I only picked it up, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. I finally picked this issue up. It's the Superman one-shot special, the Wedding album. And it's probably hard to see, but there's like an embossed white Superman logo on the cover. I think it shows up a little bit right there. But yeah, I never had this back in the day. I didn't get it until like maybe 2 years ago. I finally added it to my collection. Excuse me for just a second. Allergies have been messing with me a little bit. The pollen is ridiculous around here. We got Action Comics 728. We got Man of Steel issue 63. Great cover on this one. Oh, this is this was a 3-part storyline called Power Struggle, kicking it off with Superman issue 119. This was a really, really good storyline. I highly recommend reading this storyline if you guys haven't. There's some great stuff in there with Perry White. Just a really good emotional storyline with him. Oh, it was a 4-part story, not a 3. My bad. Part 2 was in Adventures of Superman 542. Part 3 was in Action Comics 729. Awesome black suit cover on that. And Part 4 ended with Man of Steel issue 64, Into the Sunset. The hard way. Definitely a great must-read storyline in my opinion. Got Superman 120 here, another great cover. Got Action Comics issue 730. Got Man of Steel issue 65. That's Superman standing tall. Yo, what's going on, comics fan? Late arrival from Europe. What time is it over there, by the way, man? It's like it's 4:35 over here. Got Superman issue 121, 2336. I think that would be like 1 a.m. in the morning or something over here. I'm not sure. Got Adventures of Superman 544. Great cover here. Inner Gang is back. They think they took out Clark Kent. Picked up a bunch of Superman. Have a vid on. Awesome, man. I'm going to check that out. Got them all for 25 cents. That's a killer deal, dude. The Action Comics 731. $11:37 in the evening. Oh, okay. Well, I was way off. Got Superman 122. I know it's tough when I used to do the Simply Super streams with Simon from Australia, because me and him had like a 14-hour time difference, so it was hard to get scheduled sometimes. We got Man of Steel issue 67 here, and this is starting to get into the electric powers. This is where they first start to manifest. And I know a lot of people hated that era in Superman, but I was like 17 years old when this era came out. This is the first appearance of the new suit, Superman 123, and this is actually a glow-in-the-dark cover. Like I said, I was 17 when this came out, so for me, I thought it was awesome. I love the original suit. I'll always love the original suit more, but I enjoyed this era of Superman. I really did. This is another cover that eventually I want to try to find in a 9.8 slab. Plus, I'm a sucker for gimmick covers, so I love that it glows in the dark. Got Adventures 546. Metallo returns. We got Action Comics 733, guest starring the Ray. Ray always kind of reminded me of Nova from Marvel. Just his whole look and design. I'm not sure which character came first, but I'm sure one of them's got to be a knockoff of the other one. Got Man of Steel issue 68. DC turns Superman into the ultimate Electro. Yeah, for real. Got Man of Steel issue 69. Guest starring the Atom. Got Superman 125. Another issue with the Atom. And all of these, I got it like Midtown Comics back issue sale for like 50 cents a piece when I was trying to fill in this run. All the ones with the stickers on the bags like that. Here's Action Comics issue 735. Oh yeah, I always try to look out for cheap deals like that. When Midtown Comics has their back issue sales, sometimes they're up to 70% off. And that's usually when I go in and try to fill in the gaps in my collection. Here's Man of Steel issue 70. Got Man of Steel 71. Man of Steel 72. Yo, one collection down. What's going on, man? Got Adventures of Superman 551. This is a cool blueprint cover. Got Superman and Cyborg Superman side by side. Got Man of Steel 73. Got Superman, or Man of Steel issue 74. Is Clark Kent chilling on the cover. Yeah, I dig those blueprint covers like that. Got Man of Steel 76. And here's the introduction of Superman Red into the Superman Blue story. Got it started off with a one shot here. It's got a 3D cover. And this actually came with a Golden Age reprint of a 3D Superman story. And the 3D glasses. This all came polybagged together. I did open it, but I kept all the stuff that came with it. Got Superman 132. That's an awesome red and blue cover. I know they came out with some McFarlane figures. I've got the Superman blue, but I never did find the Superman red figure. I need to track that down one day if it's not like stupidly expensive. Got Adventures of Superman 555. Here we have some connecting covers. Got Action Comics 742 and Man of Steel 77. If I could line it up right. Always love a good connecting cover. Make sure I put these back in the right order. Okay. We've got Superman 133 here. Appreciate that, guys. I've got Adventures of Superman 556, and this is starting to get into the Millennium Giant story, which is another connecting cover set. I think there's like 9. There's 11 issues, and all of them are connecting covers. And they cross over with other titles, so I've got some other titles in this box here. We've got Aquaman issue 43. And this storyline actually led into Superman getting back his original powers and abilities. Got Man of Steel 78. Another awesome storyline I definitely recommend reading. But it was at the end of this storyline, I think in an epilogue book, where Doomsday actually came into it. And that led into one of the Supermen getting destroyed, or maybe kind of merging back together. It's been so long since I read it, I can't remember exactly what happened. But somehow, one of them either got killed and they merged back together or something, and he ended up getting his original powers back in the Superman Forever one-shot. But anyway, I'm rambling. Here's Challengers of the Unknown, issue 15. And the only reason I have these in my Superman box, again, is because it's part of the same storyline. So when they do stuff like that, I put those issues all together. At Teen Titans issue 19. Superman issue 134. Got Supergirl issue 20. Got Steel issue 50. Adventures of Superman 557. We've got Action Comics 744. Okay, here's another issue that got out of order somehow. This is not part of the storyline. That's Action Comics 743. We've got Man of Steel issue 79. And this was the kind of the aftermath of Millennium Giants, Superman 135. I think this was the issue where Doomsday came into it, and somehow instead of letting them destroy the world, they transported them to the very end of time or something. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ended up. All right. Well, I'm not actually seeing that in this issue, so it might have been. I might be completely misremembering how it all went down. Then we've got the Superman Forever one shot. This was the standard Alex Ross cover. And maybe that was in this issue. Sometimes the storylines bleed together when you haven't read them in like 20 years. That's why you don't appreciate that era. Long storylines, never ending crossovers, or the one and dones. I hear you, man. Okay, yeah. This was the issue that had Doomsday, the Superman Forever one shot. It wasn't the Millennium Giants, it was Superman Forever. Okay, so I did remember it right. I just remembered it in the wrong issue. But this ends the red and blue electric story, and it brings Superman back to his original powers and costumes. I've got the variant cover to that as well. The holographic. It's really hard to see. This is the issue I had since I was a kid. The reprint cover I got recently in the last couple years. So the lenticular like hologram on this is pretty scratched up, so it makes it even harder to see. But still pretty cool. We've got Man of Steel issue 81. And this is like I can't remember exactly what happened here, but they did like a series of old Superman. I'm not sure if these were just like flashbacks or what, but they did like 3 or 4 issues, I think 4 issues of flashback Superman costumes. I've got see, I think this is another one shot. Yes, this special edition issue 1 on it. Really cool cover there. Yo, what's going on, Kenneth? Hope you're having a good day, man. Got Man of Steel issue 84. Superman Adventures of Superman 564. Another great cover here with the Justice League. And there's a character in the corner down here. I'm honestly not too sure who that is right there, but kind of looks like a Spider-Man knockoff, if I'm honest. Would I have to read this issue again and check that out because I don't remember this character here at all. Wait, when did this came? This came out in 1999. Got Man of Steel issue 89 here. Don't know who that is either. That's the good thing about going through some of these old books. You can leave some out and reread them again. Here we got an awesome Superman and Wonder Woman cover with Action Comics 761. Wonder Woman rocking that axe back there. Here we got Superman getting some action with the Adventures of Miss Superman 574, another Kiss cover. Originally, when I first saw that, I thought maybe that was Lois Lane with powers, but it wasn't. We got Superman 164, Vote Lex. And I believe this was the first issue that came out in 2001. Still had the triangle numbers down in the corner. We got Man of Steel 120. Not a big fan of the art style on the cover, but kind of looks all right. Got Man of Steel issue 116. All right, again, I've got these out of order somehow. But here he's standing on top of a giant Darkseid statue that's been knocked over. I went through these things last year and put them all in order. At least I thought I did. Oh, here's another out of order issue. Got Man of Steel 117. Man of Steel 118. Oh, this is Man of Steel Part 3 of 4. Return to Krypton. Okay. Here's one of my favorite covers with Jim Lee. Superman issue 204. Love this cover, man. This book, along with a few others coming up, was an A-OK from Fanboy Prime. This was actually after I stopped collecting, because I stopped collecting from 2000 all the way to 2015. So I missed out on a lot. So Fanboy Prime was kind enough to A-OK me some Jim Lee issues. Yo, what's going on, Great Legend? How you doing, man? Appreciate that, brother. Got Superman 205. Superman 206. Superman 207. There's another great cover, issue 208. I've actually got this image of Superman on a t-shirt. Doesn't have the rest of the cover, just that image of Superman. That's Superman 209. Another great Wonder Woman cover here, Superman 210. All tied up in the lasso of truth there. I guess my buddy Bubs would call that a bondage cover. Got Superman 211. Another great Wonder Woman cover here. Really enjoyed this Jim Lee run. We got Superman 212. Getting close to the end of this box. Here's a cover that went crazy for a little while because of the crypto sighting in the new Superman movie. Got Superman issue 680. This awesome Alex Ross cover with crypto. And this one was actually A-OK to me by Matilda Gothica. So this book traveled all the way from Israel a few years back. Great cover on that one. Here's one that was A-OK to me from Magic Lasso. This was the Death of Superman 30th anniversary. For whatever reason, when this book hit in my area, my shop just said they didn't get any. And then a few days later, they were all on the wall for like double and triple the price. So I wasn't able to get one. But Magic Lasso hooked me up with a copy, which was awesome. Here's one I got off of Midtown Comics on a back issue sale. It's Action Comics 1000, the 90s cover variant, but it's signed by Dan Jurgens. Signed and numbered by Dan Jurgens. And I think I got it for like 50% off cover price, so it was only like $4.99, which was awesome. It was number 283 out of 500, I think, that he signed. It's a little smudged, but it looks like 500. Yeah, 500 copies. This is number 283. I saw it on there for $4.99. I couldn't resist picking it up, man. I love that 90s era because that was where I started, so that was cool to have. And this is another variant of Action Comics 1000 that my buddy Trix, It's Natrix, sent me from Instagram and YouTube. It's Natrix on YouTube and Trix Comics over on Instagram. But I think this is, I think this might be Middleton. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like Middleton. And that is it for box number 3 for going through my comic book collection. I'll pick up next time with box number 4, which I think is Superboy, Supergirl, some Silver Ages in there, I think, and some one-shots and annuals. I think that's what's in that box, but that's what I'll pick up with next time. I appreciate everybody that hung out in the chat and everybody that catches it on replay. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and keep it 9,000.